We saw that text-to-image AI tools can provide amazing results. Now we'll have a look at text-to-speech AI tools or at generative voice AI. This simply means that you have a text of your choice, and then you decide who should be the speaker to read this text out loud. And the speaker can be a random voice, but this can also be your own voice. This sounds very interesting, I think. Therefore, we also want to show you one of these text-to-speech AI tools. There are many tools available on the market. We decided to choose one of the most popular generative voice AI tools, and that's the tool by ElevenLabs. This is the ElevenLabs website, and on this page you can find different products. Many different products actually, but in the end it's quite simple. All you need is the speech synthesis page here. And if we scroll down a bit, we can find the core process in 3 simple steps. The first step is that we have to choose our preferred voice, the settings and the model, so which AI model is used to generate the voice. Then we have to enter the text that should be read out loud. And finally, we have to generate the audio file. The most interesting part we'll focus on now is the first step though. Because in here, we can either choose a random voice, so a voice generated by other users, for example, or we can also upload sample files from our own voice, and then the AI should be able to read out any text that we add with our own voice. Let's find out how this works. Before we can do that though, we have to have a look at the pricing page. Because as many other AI tools, ElevenLabs is not entirely for free. We have a free pricing plan to get started at the point in time when we're recording this video. But this free plan doesn't include the access to the instant voice cloning feature, and that's a feature we need to add our own voice to this model. Therefore, if you want to try this out on your own, you at least have to take the starter plan. Or, as always, you can also just follow along the video and see how this process generally works without having to do this on your own. I have such a starter plan already, therefore I'll now quickly sign into my account. And in here, we can now move to the starting page, which is actually the speech synthesis. In there, you can now first define some core settings regarding the audio file that you want to create. The first thing is the voice. So we have Emily here as a recently used voice. We also have samples of Max and myself already. And there you can find other pre-made voices that you can choose from. Additionally, you can also add voices with this button. This leads you to the Voice Lab page here, where you can find the samples that you added, so the audio sample files. This is the Voice Lab page, and in here you can find 2 different voice types. First, you can find your own sample files that you uploaded. Here you have the file of myself, and this is Max file. We'll of course add a new file in a few moments. But you can also go to the voice library over here, and there you can find lots of different voices created by the community. So for example, if you want to have Dave's voice, the voice of an old American male, deep and gruff, you can just add this voice to your voice lab. We'll keep the name as it is and add the voice. And by finishing this and going back to our voice lab, we can now find this voice here, and we can choose this voice now in our speech synthesis settings. So if I go back now, I can either select the voice in here under the generated voices, or go to add voice and select use right here. Then we have Dave's voice. Now we can adjust the voice settings. So we can adjust the stability, we can adjust the clarity, and we can also exaggerate the style. I'll not dive into the details behind these settings. In this lecture here, you can just take the default to get started. A more important setting is the model selection down here. We have the basic English model down here, which obviously can only read out English texts, But we also have the multilingual models, version 1 and version 2 at this point in time, which can speak multiple languages. And I'll just go with the latest one, the version 2, to have the most up-to-date model. Now we only have to add some sample text here that should be read out loud. And for this, I made it easy. I simply asked ChatGPT to provide some sample text, which it did. So I'll just copy this text now and paste it in here. You see, you have a character limit in here, so the text must not contain more than 5,000 characters. And you have a remaining quota here. This means how many words, how many characters are left in your current subscription plan for the current month. Now we can simply generate the voice and wait a few seconds.
Hello and welcome to this demonstration of our text-to-speech technology. With this tool, you can convert written text into natural human-like speech.
And this now is our text read out by this deep and gruff Dave voice that we choose. And now, once the full audio file was generated, this download symbol appears, and then you can obviously download this file to your machine. And this then provides us an MP3 file, which we can use in our projects. And of course, we are not limited to Dave's voice only. As you saw in the voice library, you can always try any other voices that you find in here. For example, Tamika here, an old American female. And with the sample button,
I believe that we are fundamentally the same and have the same basic potential.
You can always ensure that the voice meets your requirement and represents the atmosphere of the text that should be read out loud. So this is step 1, using a voice from the community. Now we'll have a look at how we can add our own voice to ElevenLabs.